Hi, Flosstube. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. I don't know, we're going on a year now, I think. Um, it was a much needed hiatus though, and I'm back and I'm so excited to be back here with you guys. My name's Lindsay Johnson. I am the Buckeye Stitcher, and I'm on Instagram as the Buckeye Stitchery. And I have so much to share with you guys. I'm going to try and keep this video fairly short. Sorry for the glare in my glasses there. I guess it's on the side. Um, but yeah, I'm so excited to be back here with you. Um, so I guess we'll just jump right into it. So my last video, oh, this is Flosstube 13, if I didn't say that. My last YouTube video, my last Flosstube was almost a year ago, I think. In February, it'll be a year. Oh, and today is Monday, January 8th. And I kind of left that as a cliffhanger because I didn't expect to not put another video out within the couple weeks after I made Flosstube 12. But I ended up not doing that. And that is because we found out I was pregnant, which we were super excited about. We were planning it. We wanted another one. But I got really sick. I wasn't throwing up, but I was having a hard time I was having a hard time eating anything because everything made me feel so nauseous. Um, every, like it was just miserable. And then when I would stare at my stitching, it would make me nauseous staring at the fabric and trying to thread the needle through the fabric holes. So for the first probably, I don't know, until at least June or July, I was just, probably June, I was just so sick to my stomach. And I didn't stitch at all because it just made me feel awful, which is really sad because I really like stitching, and to love something and then it make you feel so awful is just kind of heartbreaking. So, um, yeah, that was kind of hard for me. And then I started stitching again, I think in July maybe. Um, and I really got back into stitching. I was feeling better. Um, I was doing much better, and I was able to start stitching again, which I was super excited about. And yeah, so I started stitching again, and I have all kinds of stuff to show you. We did have a beautiful baby boy in September, September 8th actually, so he is 4 months old today. Um, his name is Maverick Cooper Johnson. Um, he is just the most wonderful baby. He's so happy all the time. He's just started rolling over. Um, he's just he's just such an amazing little boy, and we are so happy to have him as part of our family. That does bring us up to five though. Our oldest will be 9 next month. Our middle, she'll be 6 next month, and then of course, Maverick is 4 months old. So yes, it has been so exciting and so fulfilling, and yeah, he's just been amazing. So we've really enjoyed our time with him. I did try and stitch quite a bit on my maternity leave, and I feel like I got a decent amount of stitching done with trying to balance sleep and a newborn and making sure kids are getting to school and stuff like that. So I was super happy with what I was able to accomplish. So um, yeah, I have a bunch of stuff to show you. I have a little bit of haul. I haven't gone crazy. Um, and I have several finishes. And some of the finishes you might have already seen, I might have showed, but I wanted to just show some of them again. And then some of them you haven't seen. Some of them, actually 2 of them are starts and finishes that you have not seen at all. And so I'm just super excited. So without further ado, I'm going to show you some finishes I think first, and then we'll move into haul, and then I'm going to do plans before I do WIPs, because I'm going to do kind of a WIP Parade, but because my plans have already started, I'm going to show my WIPs first, or show my plans first, then my WIPs, because I've already started my plans, so then that way you know what I'm talking about when I show my WIPs. So, let me get my finishes here. So, this first one is a start and finish, and it is Autumn Rolls by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and this is done on 20, still on the call for, so I think it's 28 counts, no, 32 count, 28 count, I think it's 28 count, whatever the call for is, Vintage Country Mocha. I'm pretty sure this fabric was cut at an angle, because, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute, because if you look at it, it looks like down here at the bottom on this side, the margin's like almost nothing compared to up here where I started. I had like a 2-inch margin. And I have not ironed any of these, I'm sorry. But I've used all the called for floss. And I had this stitched up while I started it November 16th or 17th, like the day or two after my birthday. And I started it because I actually had everything I needed. So I just bought the fabric, and it actually stitched up very quickly, and then I finished it December 28th. So, and I love this stitch so much that I exclusively stitched on this, just because I was having so much fun with it. And see if I can get it all in the picture here. Just because I loved it so much, and it was so much fun to stitch. So I actually started it, and then I just finished it all at once. But yeah, if you can see the border there, I don't know, like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the fabric was cut crooked. I have no idea. I think even there's maybe 3/4 of an inch there. I think I'll still be okay as far as like finishing it. Yeah, I might have to sew some fabric onto it, and then that's what gets stretched. I'm not sure yet, but I'm hopeful that it'll come out okay. So, but this is Autumn Rolls by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and I absolutely love it. I'm so happy with it, and it was so much fun. As is all the Primrose stitching. I think they're probably one of my very favorite designers. Their stuff is so cute, and it's fun to stitch. The charts they're amazing to stitch from. Like, they're in color, they're big prints. Yeah, the charting is just par none. It is amazing. So that was that one. And then this is another Primrose Cottage piece that I started and finished. And I actually started this, I think this is the first piece I started when I started stitching again. I wanted to start a piece, and I finished it, I think, a week or two after he was born. So this is, I think it's the Salem Sisters. I think that's the official title of it. And this is by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I did use the called for fabric. It is Vintage Country Mocha. And the called for floss, which is Coal by Weeks. And I just think that this turned out amazing. If you look at the cauldron there, just the variegation, and because this was monochromatic, I definitely wanted to use the Weeks Coal, the called for with the variegation, because I wanted some play, some fun, some character into the stitching, so it wasn't just solid black. And I love this. And actually, it's really funny because we're at a thrift store, and my husband likes buying like wooden pieces to refinish or repurpose. And we ended up finding a wooden piece, and it was kind of like a shelf, with like little tiny shelves scattered on it, but the wooden piece is only like this big. It's not huge. There was like little itty bitty shelves that were on it. There's like 4 or 5 shelves. And then Lindsay Waite, the designer, one of the designers behind Primrose Cottage, her dad ended up having this board that they finished this on, selling it in their Etsy shop. Well, the shelf that we had, he's like, oh my gosh, that shelf looks just like the board that they have. And this was like months before I'd even started this, that we had gotten this. So it was just by chance that we had it, and it was really funny. And I didn't even have this in mind when we bought it. So, but I think I picked it up for like $4.50. I mean, it was like very cheap. And so he's like, well, we'll just take the shelves off. Then you have this, board that you can mount anything on. And it has the moon up top, like the crescent moon. Just like her board has. It is the wildest thing that we have this board. Like, the wildest thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, that's perfect. And it's already kind of like gray whitewashed, which their piece is like black washed or something like that, like antique-y black. But I think that it looks fine. And I think if I use the right fabric as, for like backing and accenting this, it's gonna look amazing. So yeah, I'm so, so happy with this. I love it. And it's amazing. So yeah. So that one is that. And I'm pretty sure all these are Primrose. Can you tell I like them? And then I have a couple of smalls, and these are all part of the same her stamp series, and I believe that I've showed 2 of these, but they are Joy to the World, and these are all done on called for. Joy to the World, Jingle All the Way, and Let It Snow. And this one's my favorite because I love this little snowman. He's just so cute. I love this little guy. And I think those are super cute, and I do want to make these into little pillows. Little pillows, or I've thought about making into little pillows with like a loop so I can hang them on the Christmas tree. I'm not sure yet. So either I'll make a pillow, either way I want to do a pillow, but I'm not sure if I want to put like a little ribbon to be able to hang them on a Christmas tree or put them in like a dough bowl or something. But these are so cute. I'm sorry the lighting is not very good. I have to get pretty close. But they're so cute. Okay, and the next one is Welcome Autumn, again by Primrose on the Called For. And you'll notice that a lot of the Primrose stuff that I do, I typically use the Called For because I don't want to change the design because I like what they do so much. And so I really don't want to change anything. So I typically try and use the Called For fabric and floss there. And most of their stuff calls for DMC. Occasionally they'll have some like weeks or gentle arch or something like that, but it's usually not the whole piece, at least the stuff that I've done. So yeah, and most of the stuff, the only one that had a specialty floss or an overdyed floss was the Salem Sisters. Everything else has been DMC. And then this one is Hello Santa. And this one is just too cute. I love the hats. The little hats, they're so cute. And part of their Hello series, this Hello is all done in the same script. So I have Hello Winter, which is one of my WIPs, one of the ones I'm working on, which I'll show you here later. But I love this script. I think it's so, so well done. Just cute. Cute little simple thing. Okay, and the last finish isn't really a finish, but I'm going to show you because it was a lot of work and I restarted something and I didn't want to rip it out because it was a lot to rip out and the fabric is big enough that I could just cut it out and restart on the same fabric. And so anyways, and so this is, make sure I have it the right way. This is the top left hand corner of my Ann Thomas, which if you remember is a WIP that I had. And I was doing this on Weeks Wheat. And I love this fabric. It's 36 count. I love this fabric so much. It's dark. It really makes these colors pop. It is just beautiful. And I absolutely love this, and I think it's gorgeous, and the piece is, I just love that piece so much. However, I use the Call for DMC. However, I started doing it 2/2. And as I progressed, so I did get this portion done right here. Let's see if I can show you. This portion done right here. Oh, this portion done right here. And I was fairly new at stitching when I started it, so I didn't know to use 1/2 on like a 36 count, or I thought that maybe with one strand it would look too sparse. And so I decided to do 2/2. Bad idea. Very bad idea. Because when I started getting into here, I just completely lost interest in it. I hated stitching on it. It was not enjoyable. It was not fun. And it's such a shame because I love this piece so much. I just hated stitching on it, and I think it was because it was so hard. It was so hard to physically stitch it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna scrap this. I'll cut it out. I can make a little, I don't know, I can do something with this. Because that doesn't look like a lot of stitching, but that was a lot of stitching. It's very confetti and it's very dense. Like this whole thing is almost completely full coverage right here. Besides like a little bit in here, it's almost completely full coverage. So it's a lot of stitching. So I decided I was going to restart it. So I did. Yesterday. Very little progress on it. That's okay. So I restarted it, and I will show you it later in my WIPs, but and I'll talk a little bit more about it, but I want to get into haul, and then I can go into plans and then WIPs, because that ties directly in with plans. So first, let me show you my haul real quick. It's not a ton, and I've been really trying to keep my buying to a minimum. I have not been buying every month, just because we try and keep a very tight budget. So when I do want to purchase something, or I do budget myself a little bit of money, I'm very strategic about what I buy. So anyways, haul. So one of the things I did buy, and I do want to kit up here very soon, is, and I'm sure you've all seen it, because who wouldn't want to do these? It is a Year in the Woods series by Cottage Garden Samplings, and I know this is number 12. I have all of them. I've chose to do all of them. I have number 12 first because I was thinking about doing these all in one piece, all 12 of them. And then I saw that the seasons that they were like broken in different seasons. So like this is winter. These three are winter. And this is spring. And they're on different fabric. And it says if you do them all together, you can use, I think, like a vintage country mocha or something like that, which, love me some vintage country mocha. Like, it is my go-to. I love it. I want to start branching out and doing other things besides just using that one color. Because I like stitching on different fabric. I like stitching on different colors. So I want to start branching out and expanding my horizons a little bit. So, I love this color of fabric that this is on. And it is on Mirage by Picture This Plus. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a bluish gray color for winter, you know. And the winter pieces consist of the reindeer, the fox, and the swans. And I think that winter is my absolute favorite of these because they're just so beautiful. So, anyways, I got on Cottage Garden Sampling's website, and I saw that they had like a layout where you could do the different seasons. So, like the winter series will be on one, which would be the Mirage. The spring series, and they go 3 across. So they would lay like this, 3 across. And then the spring, summer, fall, or autumn would all be the same on their own linen, whatever the called for is. So I decided that I really like that because I really like seasonal things as far as like winter, summer, autumn, spring, and having those hanging up during the season we're in. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is perfect. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to stitch these obviously one at a time, but they're going to be finished on the same fabric in 3s. So then the spring is Jackrabbit. I'm sorry, this glare. Jackrabbit. Raccoon. And the ferret. And I think one of my favorite things about these is that each piece has a little cabin or cottage in the background. And I think those are just so cute. Like, I don't know. I really, really like them. And one other thing that I do like about these two is she does call for, I think it's mostly weeks. But it's only like 1 or 2 per chart. And then she calls for DMC for the rest. And she does give DMC alternatives for the weeks that she calls for. But I'm going to do them as called for because I just love them so much. I do not do a whole lot of changing anything because when I see something by a designer that I really like, I want it that way because I like it that way and I fell in love with it the way that it was done on the model stitching, which is typically how the designer calls for it. So I don't do a whole lot of changing anything. I like to try and keep it as is. So, summer series. We have the bear, the bald eagle, and the barn owl. And I just love in all of these how there is like patterns in the animal's body. You can see it especially like with the barn owl here, how they're just atypical. They're not your typical, and I just think that just makes them come to life. I just think that they're beautiful. So, these were released last year. You could get them, sign up for the club or membership or whatever they call it, and then get them as they were released and they were sent to you each month. I did not do that. I just bought these a couple months ago, all of them. And they just came out with a fabulous house series, and I will definitely be buying those too because I've seen the Santa house, and they just released the castle last week, I want to say. Yeah, early last week or mid last week or something. And like I'm already in love with the series, so gonna be doing those ones too. And then the autumn series, which my season is autumn. Fall is my most favorite season. So it really surprised me that I like the winter season the best out of the series. But I love all of them. But my favorite is the winter series. But that really surprised me. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's the fabric. I don't know if it's like the crisp, clean colors of like the orange and the brown and the color of the fabric. I don't know. But that was my favorite season out of all of them. But I absolutely love all of them. Anyways, autumn series, or autumn 3 is the woodpecker. And you could tell it's autumn because like in every single one of these, they just have those autumn colors, which is gorgeous. And this actually has some like pinky colors in it. These two trees right here, this one and this one, are almost like a pinky color. And this is like a peach over here, like a peachy color. I don't know if you can tell. Sorry for the glare. I haven't taken these out of the packaging, but I don't know if you can kind of tell those, but they're so pretty. So it's the woodpecker and the little brown bat. And again, like look at his wings. Like just look at the pattern in those wings. Oh, that's my favorite part about these. Is just the pattern. I don't know what it's not really Quaker, but I don't know what you call that, but it's just, oh, I love it. I love it so much. You're going to hear me say that a lot, but I'm not going to buy something I don't like, so. And then the beaver. And he's just so cute. And he's got a huge tail. And it's so funny because, like, a lot of these animals we actually have near us. I mean, like, we don't have a bear near us or reindeer. But we do have fox. We do have swans. We do have rabbits. I don't know if they're necessarily jackrabbits, but we do have rabbits. Raccoons. I don't know if we have ferrets, but I did have a cousin once who had a pet ferret. So, I don't know. We do have bald eagles near us. We actually just saw one today after we dropped our daughter off at school. We were coming home and we saw a bald eagle. It was pretty cool. Barn owls, woodpeckers, bats, beavers. So, it is kind of cool. We do live out in the country. We do live on a farm. We love where we live, and there's just so much nature all over us. We do have woods where we hunt in. We are hunters, so yeah, it's really cool. So, that, and I did also purchase The Haunted Library, which by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. I purchased that because after the whole thing was released, I loved it so much. I'm a huge reader. So, yeah, I ended up getting that, and I'm super happy with it. I have not started it. I have not done anything with it. I literally just bought the PDF and I saved it to my computer, and that's where it's sitting until I'm ready to get it up and start it. I'm sure you all know what it looks like. If I can, no promises, I will insert a picture of it up here, so you can see that. Fingers crossed, maybe? I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I am not that tech savvy. I can work my phone. I can work some Excel sheets or number sheets. I have Apple. Not great at technology or as far as like editing videos and stuff. I'm not very good at it. So yeah, excuse my video, I guess, maybe if it's not like great. I apologize. But I will try and insert a picture of it. But I'm pretty sure everybody kind of knows what that looks like because it was everywhere. The style was last year into this year maybe or something like that. I don't know, but anyways. So, my other purchases were kind of my purchases, kind of gifts. So, that I got for birthday and Christmas. So, I'm just going to go and show you. So, for my birthday, part of my birthday, my husband did buy, these Pip and Chip DMC labels. They're the mini labels. These things stick so well, and they're so well made, and they're awesome. Now, he bought me these labels because I saw Bridget, the museum stitcher, her video on her getting a master DMC set. And she was using the Adam Hart floss bobbins, and I saw the video of her with those and talking about them. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need those floss bobbins because I'm a floss dropper. I like working from floss drops. However, they are horrendous to store. Horrendous. Bobbins, much better to store. Love the way they store up. Hate stitching from them. They're awful to stitch from, in my opinion. I hate it. So when she was talking about these floss bobbins, I was like, it's a no-brainer for me. It's the best of both worlds. So I was telling my husband, and she had linked the labels she used, which was the Pip and Chip mini DMC labels. She linked the Adam Hart floss bobbins, and she linked the clear boxes she used. However, the clear boxes are just standard clear boxes, and I ended up getting mine from a different store, but they're the same thing. So, anyways. So I got them. Now, I am still working on getting all the bobbins I need for a master DMC set because I've wanted a master DMC set for a while. However, I've still been working on them. I'm still working on them. I have probably 3/4 of the DMC. The floss bobbins, I think I have one pack of 100, and that's it. So I definitely need to get more of those. I do have a lot of DMC that still needs put on the bobbins, but I have to get the floss bobbins before I can obviously start putting them on them. I do have some in my storage boxes that I will show you. However, a lot of them, some of the first DMC that I put them on were ones that I already had kitted up and was actively using in my WIPs because I wanted to be able to use them instead of them just sitting in storage boxes. So there's not a whole lot in my storage boxes because I did put most of them on ones that I had, but I'll show you them on the rings when I get to those WIPs. So I have a ton of DMC, and this is how I'm storing it for right now until I get the bobbins. But as you can see, I do have, oh, wrong side. I do have some of them bobbinated here. And I have all my DMC kind of just, these are all in numerical order, so I'm able to find them if I wanted to use them before they're bobbinated. And then here is another box. And I think there's like 5 or 6 in each little square here. So as you can see, there is a ton. And here is some more. And that's kind of where I stopped. So I stopped at like 987 right here. So this is a different number that's like 3021, I think. So I'm getting there. I am getting there. We are moving along. It is taking me a lot longer, just because I'm not spending a ton of money. So when I do budget some money for myself, I will be working on getting more floss bobbins from Adam Hart. First and foremost, getting a couple packs of those so I can start getting these bobbinated. Here's some more that I have done also. And I'm not going to take these out. I'll just show you the ones that I have in my WIPs when I get to those. So that has kind of been a project that I've been working on, as well as making Excel sheets of like wish list charts and kind of my stash, what I have, just kind of getting those together and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of it for stash. The only other things, and I think I've shown you these charts, but I've recently kitted them up in the last maybe year, less than a year. So I mean, I'll just go ahead and show you them again, because I have them kitted. So I'll just go ahead and show you. So this is Miss Bingley's Library by Plum Street Samplers. And one thing that I've really got into also in the last like year is I have just absolutely, I mean, I've always liked her stuff. Paulette stuff from Plum Street Samplers, but I've really, like, when I watch Flosstube and people are doing her stuff, I've really been like paying attention to that, to her and a couple other designers specifically, and I have just fell in love with her designs. Like, they're just gorgeous, and I am super excited to start this. So I kitted this up with 36 count platinum Edinburgh linen. As you can see, the piece isn't huge, so it's not going to be huge, and that's okay. I don't need it to be huge. I kind of want it to be small and dainty, and I really like the chunky frame that they had on there. And I believe that's the called for. Oh no, the called for was 36 count Liberty Gathering Gray. So that is called for Liberty Gathering Gray. I am hoping that the white shows up on this, because it is pretty light. I mean, like I said, it's platinum. So I'm hoping. And it's not like white, well, it is white. It's whitewashed by Weeks because I'm using the called for Weeks. And there are 3 classic colorworks in there. So I'm using called for Weeks and classic colorworks. Just look at these colors though. Oh my gosh. They're so pretty. I'm just so excited. They're going to be so beautiful. I'll get the sticker out of there. There we go. That's better. I don't know if this might be better if I put that behind it. I might be able to see it better a little bit. I'm just really hoping that this shows up, because I am pretty nervous about that. But I think because it's the house, like the house is what's white. So it does make me kind of nervous. But I think once you get the windows and door in and the roof on and everything around it, because this fabric on the model here is pretty light also. So I'm thinking it'll probably be okay. I don't know. We'll have to see. I guess if I start it and the white doesn't show up and I don't like it, I might start from the bottom. Yeah, I don't know. But Pride and Prejudice is one of my favorites. They had the one movie come out in the late 90s, and I'm not sure what like edition it is or who produced it, but it's in the late 90s, and it came out in like 6 parts, and each part was like an hour and a half or something, or an hour or something like that, and that is my absolute favorite edition of it, and I want so badly to get it on DVD, and I found it on Amazon. I just have not purchased it, but I love Pride and Prejudice. I have all of Jane Austen's completed works. She has several works that have been published that she never completed because she passed away before they were finished. But as far as her completed works go, I do have all 6 of them, and they're in a leather-bound set, and each leather-bound book is a different color, pinks, teals. They're beautiful, and I love them, and I'm so happy to have them as part of my collection. And then the other one that I've recently kitted up, I have Quaker Pumpkins. However, I recently-ish, I don't think I've showed them. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll show you again. Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Los Matthews, which is another one of the designers that I'm like super in love with. So she has some really, really good stuff, and I just absolutely love these pumpkins. Love them, love them, love them. I love Quaker style patterns. I think they're beautiful. Yeah, they're amazing. So I'm not sure what the call for fabric is, but I am going to do mine on Milk and Honey by Fiber on a Whim on a 36 count. And yeah. And by the way, these 36 counts that I'm doing these things on, I'm using 1 strand, okay, people? 1 strand. I will not be restarting them. Once I start them, I will not be restarting them because I hate that I had to restart that other piece, but I knew if I didn't, my Aunt Thomas piece, that I was just going to be miserable and I wasn't going to want to stitch on it, and it wasn't ever going to get done, and it would just be real sad. So 1 strand. Hold me to it. 36 count and higher, 1 strand. Yeah, so this is Milk and Honey, and I am using Forbidden Fiber Co's, oh no, I thought I was, maybe not, okay, never mind. I think I was going to do Forbidden Fibers, conversion, and then I decided not to, and I think it was because they were out of like 1 or 2 colors or something, I don't remember, but anyways, I decided not to, so I'm not doing that, but I am doing the called for weeks. And I think these colors are going to look beautiful. I think they're just going to pop. Because this is Milk and Honey is a lot lighter fabric. Let me fold this back up. Is a lot lighter fabric. So I think these are going to turn out amazing. Because these are all very dark colors. And I think they're all just going to stand out and pop. Very fall. Just beautiful. So I am really excited about that piece. I don't know when I'm going to start this one. I probably won't start this one until the fall. But Miss Bingley's Library, I do want to get started within the next couple months, I think. So there's that. Okay, now, plans. And I'm going to try and run through this. I'm going to try and keep this video within an hour and a half, and I think I can do it or a little bit less. So, plans. I have decided to do WIP Go this year. I've never done WIP Go. I have never done anything because this is only my second year of stitching in January. So I'm going into my third year. Well, I'm in my third year right now. So, by like a few days. So, for the 2 years that I've been stitching, I've not done anything. I've just kind of random stitched whatever I wanted. But I really don't like that. Like, I don't like not having, like, a goal or something to work towards. And just aimlessly just stitching and nothing to, like, keep me on track to finish things. I really don't like it. So I decided to do WIP Go. So I do not have that many WIPs. I think I might have 12 to 15, somewhere in there, as of right now. So what I did was I made up my WIP Go board. I put all my WIPs on the WIP Go board twice. Because that's how little WIPs I have. I don't mind having more. I really hate starting things. Like, as in, I hate doing the measuring, finding out where I need to put my first stitch in the top left-hand corner, because I do like starting in the top left-hand corner. I don't like doing all that. I want it just ready to go. So I just want to be able to pick up and start stitching. I don't like doing all the measuring and all that other stuff. Excuse me, I'm going to have to take this off though. I'm hot. It is warm in here. Yeah, I just really hate starting stuff. So, like, I put it off. Like, when I kit something up new, I'm like, oh, I want to stitch that so bad. But I don't want to start it. Once it started, I have no problem whatsoever. No problem at all. Initially starting it, I absolutely hate it. Hate it. So I do put off starting things just because I hate the initial, like, starting of it. And then once it's started, then everything's fine and it's all status quo. So, anyways. WIP Go. Get back on track. So I put all my WIPs on there twice, except for one, which is actually a small bookmark. It's my hummingbird bookmark, which I'm probably not going to show you all my WIPs, just the ones that I've touched recently. Because a lot of them I have not touched because I've only been back stitching since, like, July. Because I was so sick, and I've only worked, like, on a handful of things, and 2 of them were the finishes that I showed you. So I'm not going to show you all the other ones that I haven't really touched because they haven't changed since my last WIP Parade, so what's the point? But I will show you them in the updates as they get called, or I decide to work on them, like, as their numbers for WIP Go get called and things like that. So you will see them throughout the year, so I'm not real worried about it. And so my hummingbird bookmark is on my WIP Go board one time because it's so small. I did not leave a free space. I think that's what I put my hummingbird bookmark in, was the free space, just so I could get that in the rotation as well. So all my WIPs are on the board, unless I go to start something new, then they're not. Or I finish something before it's called or whatever, then I'll replace it with a new start or something. I don't know. But the numbers called for January were 9 and 22. My 9 was my winter cabin, which I will show you. I'll just go ahead and show you right now. My winter cabin. Up until I started working on it this month, I had not touched it in probably close to a year. And I love this piece. It is a dimensions kit. It is, when I first got into cross stitch, I bought like 3 or 4 dimensions kits until I really got into cross stitching, and I realized that you can pick different fabric and patterns separately and floss separately, and you don't necessarily have to buy things in kits. So, but I do love this piece. And I did get some good work on it. So for WIP Go, I wanted to keep it very simple as far as goals. I wanted to keep it very manageable, especially with having a newborn, because I wanted to be able to reach my goals, to motivate me to continue doing it. Because if I don't hit my goals, then I'm just going to quit, because I'm going to get very discouraged, and it's just going to be like, well, whatever. So I wanted to keep them very manageable, very open-ended as far as like I can work on it this day or whenever I have time or whatever. And I think with this one, I found a very good schedule, and I'm loving it. So for all my goals, and I actually got this from Mrs. Smith Stitches, because she used these goals for her WIP Go last year. She did not use them. She did not do WIP Go this year in 2024. She did WIP Go last year, and this is what she said she used for goals, and I really like the idea. So I stole your idea. Thank you, Atlanta. I will make sure I link her down below. You have to go check her out. She's awesome. I think she uploads every month. But she's from Canada, and she has some really, really awesome pieces. And I found her a month or so ago. 2 months ago. Maybe it's closer to 2 months ago. And I like binge watched everything she put out because she's so cute. And I just love her stuff. And I was like, oh, I really like her. So I just binge watched everything. So anyways, thank you, Atlanta. I got this idea from you. And I really, really like it so far. So all my goals are stitch on the project that's called for at least 5 days. So whether that's 2 stitches, whether that's 2,000 stitches. I mean, I'm definitely not getting 2,000 stitches in a day, but whatever. But whether it's 2 stitches or 200 stitches in a day, it doesn't matter. 2 stitches, I touched it, I worked on it. So, I think I have probably 6 or 7 hours in on this piece, but I have reached my goal of 5 days already. And I'll tell you why, because I'm going to explain my schedule here. Well, let me show you the pattern first, because that would probably be helpful. Sorry for the crinkling. So this is Winter Cabin by Dimensions. It's a Dimensions cold kit. And this is just, in Dimensions, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows, but Dimensions just has such a way with their details, especially in their gold kits, and their back stitching, and their blended threads, and just has a way of like making their pictures just come to life. And oh my goodness, I cannot wait to have this done. I still have a ton to go, don't get me wrong. I cannot wait till it's done though. So, I do really want to get this done. So obviously I'm using the floss that it came with, the Dimensions floss, and the fabric it came with. So this is an 18 count Aida. It is, what is this? I don't know. Usually it says. I know it's 18 count. I think it's like a bluish color. I don't know if it's like a blue mist or what, but I think I have pretty good progress on this so far. I did middle start this because, again, it was when I first started stitching, so I did middle start it, but there's just one little strand there, but that's where a tree goes. That's why it's like that. I do need to fill that tree in, but I did get, so the cabin and stuff up here, I had all this done, and up in here I had all that done. I did just do this down here, which that's a ton of confetti stitching. And that was a lot. So, I'm happy with the progress I made on it because even though it's not like a ton of stitching, the WIP Go has got me to work on it. It has got me to pick it up, put some stitches in it, kind of re-inspired me as far as like my WIPs go. And yeah, so I have to be to work by 5 a.m. I work Wednesday through Saturday. That is my work schedule. I work 5 to 3:30. Well, with having a newborn, he wakes up anywhere between 1 and 2. By the time I wake up, I pump, I feed him. It's like 45 minutes to an hour after. And I get up for work at 3. So at that point, if he wakes me up at 1:30 and it's 2:30 or 2, I just stay up. Because there's no point in me going back to bed, and frankly, I feel worse if I go back to bed only for like an hour and then I wake up again. I feel worse than if I just stayed up, sat up, drank my coffee. So what I do is I'll get up, I go downstairs, I get my cup of coffee because I set my timer so it's ready when I get up. Grab my cup of coffee, turn my Flosstube on. It's just me up in the morning. Nobody else is up. So it's just me. I get some alone time, and it is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I love my kids. I love my husband. But an hour or two of alone time to just stitch in the peace and quiet watching Flosstube is amazing. And I think that has a lot to do with just the joy and happiness that I've had over the last month, that I just do get that little bit of self-care and that little bit of me time to just decompress and stitch from the crazy work and kids and just everything, and it has been amazing to have that time. Amazing. So if I get up at 2, then I stitch till about 4, and then at 4 I put all my things away, and I do stitch on the larger pieces, my WIP Go calls, and I put those things away, and I get ready for work, and I leave for work about 4:30. So that's 2 hours of stitching. If I'm up and downstairs by 2, that's 2 hours of stitching. Or 2:30, that's an hour and a half of stitching. And that's how I got my 5 days in on this. And it has allowed me to put so much more stitching time in doing that, and it has been awesome. And I've been really, really happy with it. And I just feel like, even though it's so early in the morning, I just feel so recharged about like something I can do for myself. I just feel so recharged after having that time. I really do. And so yeah, it's been amazing. So I have already completed that goal for January already, and today's only the 8th. And I completed that Saturday. I had my 5th day. Or no, Sunday. So yesterday I had my 5th day. And it has just motivated me so much, and I have loved WIP Go so far. And I know it's only been 8 days into it, but it's been awesome. And I've just been having a super fun time with it. And it's gotten me to work on some of my older WIPs that I wouldn't have otherwise worked on. Like, that's been going on since the beginning of 2022. And I just have not worked on it because I have a really hard time deciding what I want to work on. And then I'm like, I don't really want to work on that. But then once I start working, I'm like, why haven't I been working on this? And so, yeah. And so then, anyways, my second call for January was my Aunt Thomas. And that was what I was showing you, the little finish that I had because I ended up restarting it. And I just love this piece. and this is Aunt Thomas. And my husband actually bought me this pattern for Mother's Day last year? No, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And I love this piece. So as you can see, it was, I can't remember my fingers, this corner right here that I had done. That I basically ixnayed. I am, again, like I said, I'm using 36 count weeks wheat, colorway wheat. And I love it. I am using the Call 4 DMC. It calls for can't pronounce it. Get it together, Lindsay. Aversois. Jesus. Okay, there we go. Got it. However, I did not want to spend the money on that, so I just did the DMC conversion, which is going to look beautiful either way. I am going to rechart this here where it says Ann Thomas, her work, age 15, 1854. I might do something with her name here. However, I'm going to put my husband and I's name in here. The date we started dating. And maybe something else. The date we started dating, probably our anniversary, the date we were married in there as well. So I'm really excited about this piece. I'm going to be making this, I don't know what you want to call it, our piece, I don't know. But I think it's beautiful. I fell in love with this piece as soon as I saw it. I knew I had to stitch it. And the reason I'm making an hour piece is because of the saying up here. And I really feel like that speaks to who we are, how we live our life. And it says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. So it's basically saying, while you're on this earth, whatever you find to do, do it with all you have. Do it out of love. Do it out of passion. Do it to your best ability and enjoy it. Because when you die, you cannot do it. And that just really speaks to how we try and live our life. As far as spending time with family and doing the things that we want to do while we're here, and spending time with our kids, extended family, because once we're gone, we're gone. There's nothing we can do. As far as like I love stitching. I won't be able to stitch when I'm not here. My stash and all my projects will be handed down to hopefully my daughters because they enjoy doing it. So do what you love while you're here. Do it with who you love while you're here. So you have those memories, because otherwise, what do you have? Yeah. So I just feel like that really, really speaks to who we are. So I'm very excited to have this done. I did restart it yesterday because it was a WIP call. So I thought, and that's what kind of prompted me to cut it and restart it, was because it was called for WIP and I'm like, I really don't want to work on it. And I had some charting or some stitching errors too on it. And I was trying to fudge them out, and I think I was doing okay, but it was just annoying, and it was a pain to stitch on, and I just didn't want to stitch on it, and I really love it, and so I want it to be enjoyable. I didn't want to have to force myself to do it, so I did restart it, and it's a very, very small restart. I don't even know if you can see it up there. This color does really blend in with the fabric. However, I can't figure out how to work this thing. However, once all the other colors are in around it, it pops and it's fine. And I think you could tell that on the small piece that I showed you that I did. So I'm not worried about it, even though I can't really see it right now. I'm truly not worried about it. I know it'll end up being fine. Because that was one of the things I was worried about when I first started it. And then when I got some other colors in, it was fine and it was no big deal. So, I worked on that. Other things that I've worked on is this is my traveling piece. So at work we do have a mother's room to be able to pump and stuff and have a little cubicle, and it's nice and quiet. So I'm able to pump on breaks and my lunch. So I did start, and that's where I worked on autumn rules also. However, I have a few smalls, primrose smalls of course, that I have in this one bag. And I've only started the one because I'm only going to do one at a time. Great for traveling, great for work because there's not a whole lot to bring and it's super easy to work on. So, I started Hello Winter from Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I love this piece before I started stitching it. I love this piece even more now that I have started it. It is still in hoop because I do work on it regularly. Look at that. And that is not variegated floss. That is multiple floss colors. And they have laid it out and charted it out. And it's amazing. And I'm almost done with this mitt here. The I. And then I'm going to work over to the W. And then I'm going to come over and finish with the NTER. And it's hard to see the R with the lighting in here. Can you see it? There you go, kind of. But there's that piece. And I've really, really enjoyed this piece. And I've also stitched from stash with these 3 pieces. So the reason I chose these is because I had the fabric and the DMC, I think I had to get like 1 or 2 DMC out of all 3 patterns that I had to go buy. But otherwise, it was from stash. And I was super, super proud of myself that I was able to stitch the call for, but stitch from stash. So I was really proud of myself for that because budgeting and stuff, anytime I can stitch from stash and then have the called for, win. Definite win. So the other one is Deck the Halls from Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I am doing that on the 14 count white Aida. And then the last one is, now those are both winter pieces, Christmas pieces. This one is not. This one's a Halloween piece, and it's called Halloween Kisses. But I'm going to do this on the 14 count black Aida. So that's the reason I chose these 3. I do love working on smalls when I travel, so even though it's not Halloween or Christmas anymore, I do like stitching on the small things, especially primrose stuff, because their charts are, again, so well made. They're easy to see, they're colored, yeah, they're just awesome, and they're really easy to stitch from in the car when we go, and things like that. So that's been awesome, and yeah, I've just really enjoyed doing the smalls. I'm not the type of person that has to stitch in season. I like stitching autumn pretty much all year round, so you will see me stitching on autumn stuff all year. So yeah, it just is what it is. So, where is that piece? It's right here. This is a new start. I have gotten quite a bit done on it though. I do have a page finish on it, and I've started on the second page. So this is, well, again, I better show you the pattern first. All Hallows Eve Sampler by Joan Elliott Design. And I first saw this on Sampler Style. Her and her daughter were doing it. Can't think of her name right now. Sharon. Her and her daughter were both doing this piece together. And I absolutely loved it. And I love those letters with the spider webs and things. And then there's numbers down there that are all the same thing. And I absolutely loved it. And then that house down at the bottom. The spooky house. And I have loved this stitch. I did put it down though because I was getting kind of tired of it. Now I am doing this on 32 count vintage Stormy Night. And I am using DMC 310 and DMC 972 for the yellow in there. And I believe it called for like a silk, but they did have a DMC conversion, so that's why I used the 310, the 972. Now I have decided I am going to go through the whole piece and do the 310. And then I'm going to go back and do the 972. Because to me that makes the most sense. So, this is what I have done so far. And right here, oh, again, can't navigate. This right here is the first page. So up here. So where that line breaks is the first page. So I do have a page finish. This border over here, up top, and then down the side is all the same around the entire piece. I have thought about stitching in the border and getting the whole border done, but I have not done that. So I've started on page 2 over here with this little cap. So now there is 972 throughout some of this. Again, I'm just doing the 310 and getting the whole piece done, and then I'm going to go back through and do the 972. I think that will be easier. I don't know. But that's just how I decided to do it. So that's how I'm going to do it. So I have gotten quite a bit done on this. I'm really happy with the progress I made on this. And like, look at those little mice down there. Aren't they cute? Oh my goodness. They're so cute. So I'm really happy with what I have done. Again, I just put it away because I was kind of just done stitching on it for that period of time. And I think that's when I started Autumn Rules. And then I just got super excited into that, and then that's why I put this one down, because then I ended up just stitching on that and completely just finishing it. So, that was that. So, that's new. I had the pattern, had the floss, but it's new as far as, like, stitching it. So, there's that. I did also get some good progress earlier in the year of, oh, and I did not have those on the Atom Heart floss drops because there's only 2 colors. And I'd already put 310 in a different project on the floss drop, so, yeah, anyways. This one does, though. I'll show you. This is Welcome Autumn. I did get some really good progress on this by, Putini? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I hope that's right. And I bought this off 123 Stitch. I went to a stitching retreat 2 years ago, which I'm hoping to get to one this year. And she was working on it. She was working on it on an Ada. And it was, oh, beautiful. And I asked her, I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to tell me what pattern that is. and I immediately went on and ordered it because I just loved it so much. And it did come with the buttons, so I am going to use those. And they do give a version of it to just stitch the buttons, so like stitch the birdhouse and stitch the sign over here instead of using the buttons. But I really like the buttons, so I'm gonna put the buttons on. I've never used beads or buttons on anything, so I probably will have to watch a tutorial. So if any of you know of any good bead or button tutorials for putting on cross-stitch patterns, please let me know. Please let me know where I can find them or link them in the comments. I don't care, but yeah, I'm definitely going to have to figure out how to do that because I'll probably be horrible at it at first. And to try and do it on my own, yeah. So I'll show you where I'm at. I am doing this on the called for. What is the called for? 32 count Belfast Dirty Linen by Zweigart. Yes, by Zweigart. So this is what I have so far. And I had just, again, these are all not ironed. I apologize. They probably look terrible with the hoop rings. Sorry. A part of this tree done. And then some of this border up here. And then just a little bit of this tree. I did not have any of this done as far as like the colored leaves. I did not have any of this fence done, so I got all that done. So I made pretty good progress on it. And it's turning out really well. And I'm really happy with it. Yeah. And these colors, oh my gosh. I just used the Call 4 DMC. But these colors, oh my gosh, you guys. This is probably one of the most beautiful color. Yes. I just found my little tag. You can tell I got it from 123 Stitch. Color palettes that I've ever seen. Love it. Look at these colors. Oh my gosh. They're just so pretty. And I do have one that is still on like a handmade floss drop just because I must have already put that color on one of the Adam Hart ones. So I didn't want to put two of them on, and I want to keep them in their respective projects. So I just kept it on there. But I will show you these. I'll take one off. So these are the frosted floss drops. They're original ones. So it has your hole for putting on your ring. It has your hole here for putting your floss in, obviously. This hole over here is for putting your floss remnants. As far as like, if you have a thread that's like too large to just toss it or like put in your like little, jar or whatever, and you can still use it. And then it has like these little slits to put your, put your floss in like that, obviously, when you have it wrapped, like a normal floss drop. And you can see it's in the shape of a normal floss drop. And they are frosted. And as you can see, I've put in my labels, the Pip and Chip mini DMC labels in the top right-hand corner, my right-hand corner. And I have all of them facing the same way, so this hole right here is all on the right-hand side. And when you have them on the ring, they just hang like this. So they do hang a little bit at an angle because of that. And that does not bother me at all. At all. And they just hang like that. This tag just tells me what project the floss goes to, in case I leave it out of a bag or something and I don't remember what project it goes to. And these I just used when I punched out and was making my own floss drops. I kept the little punch outs, and that's what I'm using for tags. And I think it works perfect. Repurposing, not being wasteful. So, yeah. I love these. And then when you want to store them, oh, and these labels are actually the color of the DMC. So, like, this one is darker because it's the color of this DMC, which I think is awesome. And so then when you're done, you just wind it up like a floss bobbin, or like a floss bobbin. And then you can tuck it away in here if you want. Or you don't have to, you can just tuck it in behind. And then you have your floss bobbin. And you just stick it in your storage container. And then when you want to use it, you just unravel it, put it on your floss ring, and you're ready to go. And the storage capabilities of this is just way better. It is way better. And I wanted to get these ones because they are acrylic. They will hold up. Or I wanted to get hard floss drops because they'll hold up better than my paper ones that I was using. The cardstock, they do rip sometimes, and it, like when you're pulling on it, I try to be super careful, but then I've had to tape a couple just because. So it's been difficult. And so then when I saw those on Bridgen's website, I was like, no brainer. So I think that's it. Get a drink here. I've been talking a while. Yeah, over an hour, almost an hour and a half. I am doing pretty good. I don't think I've worked on anything else. If I have, again, I'm going to be doing updates on the regular now that I'm feeling better and all the chaotic stuff is over with. And I'm back to work and things like that. I did just go back to work on December 1st when he was 3 months old. So I did get my maternity leave, which was awesome. And yeah, I'm going to be starting to put out regular videos again. And I'm going to be much better about it this time around. I'm sorry, I'm just so thirsty. Oh, goodness, I haven't talked about this in a while. So, my plan for videos. I was trying to do them every 2 weeks. Failing miserably last time. Sometimes it was 3 weeks. I think what I'm going to do is tell you guys I'm going to put a video out every month. I'm going to try and put it out at the beginning of every month. Within the first week of the month, hopefully. However, if I have a couple weeks where I have a lot of progress on stuff, I might put them out every 2 weeks. Or I just feel like I want to put a video out. I might put them out every 2 weeks. The reason being, I don't feel like I have enough to show you every 2 weeks. Because I don't have a lot. Yeah, I just don't have a lot to show you because a lot of my stitching, I have very limited time on stitching. I have to be very, very careful and diligent about the time that I have that I'm stitching and working around the things like stitching in the morning before I go to work. Like, that's a time where I can get some stitching in. I don't feel like every 2 weeks I'll have enough to show you. And I don't want that. But if I want to put a video out every 2 weeks, or if I want to put a video out after 2 weeks, then I'm going to put a video out, whether I have a lot or not. If I do feel like I have a lot to show you, and there's going to be a long video, then I will probably do it after 2 weeks. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm really happy to be able to get on here and have this update for you. in kind of like a very mini WIP parade. Um, Again, as things are called and I work on them, I'll show you, but I didn't want to show you things that I just haven't worked on. I just thought there was no point. You can go back and watch my WIP parade that I did earlier on my channel, and you'll be able to see everything there. I haven't touched a whole lot since then on a lot of the projects, but yeah, that's where we're at. And I kept this video under an hour and a half, and I'm super excited about it. I'm going to try and link all the people I talked about, all the Flosstubers I talked about. Bridge in the Museum Stitcher, Sharon from Sampler Style, and Atlanta from Mrs. Smith Stitches. I'm going to link those down below. I'm going to try. I know I've done it before, but it's been a while, and I don't remember, so I'm going to try. And then I will try and link the Adam Hart floss bobbins, the storage containers, and the DMC labels. However, the storage containers, honestly, you just go to, I might not link those because you can go to any craft store and in like the stitching embroidery section find those craft boxes. They're all standard sizes. They all fit the floss bobbins and they all work the same. So probably won't link those. But if you have questions about where you can find them, you have questions about them, please feel free to put a comment down below or message me on Instagram. Again, I'm the Buckeye Stitchery on Instagram, not the Buckeye Stitcher like I am on Flosstube. Feel free to message me there. Feel free to leave a comment on here, and I will get back to you about where to find those. And then I'm going to link the DMC labels. I think that's it. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. And I hope you all are getting a lot of stitching time in starting this new year. I hope you all reach your goals and expectations and or exceed those that you had for yourself as far as stitching goes and life-wise. My 2013, geez. 2023 was a pretty good year. We had a pretty good year. We had a new addition to our family, and I just have a feeling that 2024 is gonna be an amazing year, and I am so excited and so ready for this year, and we're just so looking forward to our future and this year and what life has to offer us and what our goals are as far as our family goals, our life goals. We're just really excited for this year and what we can accomplish in a year. So, yeah, I hope this year is your best year yet. Stitching year, life goals, and I will see you in the beginning of February. And I hope you have an amazing month. And yeah, I just hope you have the best month and the best year, and I will see you all real soon.